Welcome everyone to the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick Hopwood.
And I'm Jim Pilat.
And Jim, we have a couple events coming up, right?
We do.
We have a halftime report, which is going to be June 29th at Fox Hills. We're going to have a nice chicken dinner. Everyone enjoys chicken dinners like me. And we're going to be talking about the markets and the economy. And we're going to have a guest speaker, aren't we?
Yeah, JP Morgan. Randy at JP Morgan is going to come with us and add some commentary to some crazy times.
We love hearing from Randy. And we also have the date for the Top of the Peak Summer Party right here in the front yard, if you will, at the office, August 17th. And we're looking forward to having the same amenities, music and massage and food trucks and lots of fun. So mark your calendars for June 29th and August 17th. But today's main topic, Jim, the top 5 what?
Top 5 mistakes most people make with their money.
And a bonus mistake. And tips from us on how these can become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right? If we focus on things, these mistakes become not mistakes anymore somehow.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Think about them differently, right?
That's right. So what are these mistakes?
First mistake is spending money they don't have. I feel like we do a lot of time, we spend a lot of time talking about expense tracking and things like that, but it's kind of keeping up with the Joneses, right? Spending money you don't have, going into debt, buying stuff you don't really need to impress people who you don't really know.
Jonesing.
Isn't that the
Jonesing.
Isn't that a Dave Ramsey line, something like that?
Yeah, it reminds me of the latte factor.
Yeah.
From that one guy. Right?
Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah. How much is a latte now?
I'm not a coffee drinker, but it's got to be pushing $5-6 probably.
Right. How much is a latte for your meeting here at Peak?
It's complimentary.
That's right.
With our new latte machine.
If you haven't checked out the new machine, everyone's talking about it. It's huge. We've got the milk, the regular dairy milk, the almond milk. I mean, it's a real treat.
Yeah.
I mean, even Preston likes it too.
Yeah. Froth it up. We do it all.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You got to use the whole milk to get the right froth.
Yeah.
That's what I figured out.
You've become a real connoisseur.
Yes, exactly. So the latte factor is kind of mistake number 1, but that's kind of a scarcity mindset, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Well, let's back up. Like a latte is $5. These people, they'll tell you if you forego the latte, you can save $5 a day, and if you invest that money, it can be worth $1 million at some point. So why is that a bad thing, or why is that not a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing, and you do want to rein in spending and make sure you're not spending more than you have. But I think the spin we're putting on it is, why does it have to be money you don't have, and why don't you change your mindset to, how do I grow my income? How do I grow my assets and net worth so that I can buy stuff with money that I do have? Right.
So scarcity mindset, we have a finite pie, and that's all there is. We have to make it work. And so if you eliminate an unnecessary expense, such as a Starbucks latte, then it can be redirected and be saved and invested for later. But the abundance mindset, the pie is not fixed. The pie can be growing. And if you have a larger and larger pie or income, then this latte is worth less and less as a piece of the pie, relatively speaking. So many people are focused on cutting costs, and they're not thinking about raising their income. And we talk about this with our interns. On the first day, I always sit down and say, hey, let's talk about personal growth and development, communication skills, setting goals, your vision for the future, and how are we going to sharpen the saw beyond just our formal education. And so personal growth and development is important to me. I rarely listen to music in the car anymore. I'm kind of boring now, getting old, listening to books on tape, podcasts such as the Trust the Plan podcast.
It's a favorite.
Yeah. It's top of the list.
Yes, it is.
We're trying to, pad the statistics, if you will, So by the way, with that said, it would be great if you would like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. It actually means a lot to us, and we'd appreciate it. If you're enjoying the podcast, please do that. What's mistake number 2?
Mistake number 2 is carrying increasing bad debt, right? Think credit cards, you
Yeah.
know, think whatever, loans on all those toys, right? I feel like one kind of leads to 2, right? Spending money you don't have, well, what do? You put it on some sort of debt, you borrow, right? And you somehow try to finance it, credit card debt, you know, just as we talk about interest rates going up, for the good side of it is investments, interest goes up, bonds are paying more, money markets are paying more. The bad side is mortgages are up, car loans are up, you know, credit card interest rates are up. So
Yeah, my home equity line a year ago was about 2.5%, and now it's 7.5%. It's making me mad.
yeah,
I start to feel like this isn't such a good debt anymore.
no,
So I start thinking about, what do I have to do to be laser focused to knock this thing out? I still want to keep it as a tool, but it starts to go from that good debt column to bad debt pretty quickly. So again, we can eliminate these credit cards, and we can do the credit card dance with the 0% transfers, and come up with a Dave Ramsey style snowball. But we also can raise our income, right, with that focus on personal growth and development, in order to give us a better chance to pay it off quicker.
Yeah, and again, it's just a mindset shift, right? If you find yourself having some of this debt, maybe shifting your mindset from, I got to cut costs to pay this thing off. Well, that's not a bad thing, right? What about, I got to increase my income, I got to go find new opportunities as a way to get this paid off quicker.
I'm not endorsing this, but Dave Ramsey would be like, well, what are you doing tonight? You should go deliver some pizzas.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I could, but I'm not gonna, not 18.
But I mean, to that point though, it's easier than ever to find something like that, right? With DoorDash and Uber and like all that stuff. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to pick up hours whenever you need or want.
Yeah, we're in this gig economy now.
Yeah.
What's mistake number 3?
Pulling money out of the stock market.
Presumably at the wrong time. Right?
So I took it as 2 ways. Yes, presumably at the wrong time. If the market's down, you panic and you sell at the worst time. The other thing that I thought of is kind of piggybacking on the first 2 things, right? Buying stuff you with money you don't have, putting it on credit cards, and now I got to get out of trouble. How am I going to do it? I'm going to take money out of my 401k, right? I'm going to borrow against my 401k. Remember when all the COVID stuff was going on, and they gave provisions for people to withdraw money out of their 401ks penalty free? Like that, people took that as like this great idea, and now I can get this money out and it's going to be so great. Well, that's not an ideal situation. That's something like that should really be saved for emergencies.
Yeah, someone asked us the other day if we wanted to recommend a 401k loan to buy a used car. And the 401k loan rate was 8%. So you're selling stocks at probably an inopportune time.
Right.
You're paying 8%. I went to my to the credit union website, cfcu.org or .net or whatever it is, and right on the homepage it says car loans 6%.
Yeah.
So
you didn't even have to look hard. It was.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? We're going to recommend car loan at a lower rate naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. But people, the other part of it is people emotionally panic, right? And at this point in time, the market's been down for nearly a year and a half. So it's not like a new panic, but it is getting long in the tooth. And so the emotional part, from I got to get out when it's falling to this thing's never going to recover, right? The emotions change over time.
Right.
And it is getting long in the tooth, and it's getting longer than average. But that actually improves the odds of what happens next.
Yeah, it's true.
What's the next mistake?
This one I think kind of goes in line as well, leaving money on the table. We were just talking about 401ks in terms of loans and stuff, but also in terms of leaving money on the table. A lot of people have 401ks that give you some sort of match, and if you're not taking advantage of that, you're making a big mistake. It doesn't have to be 401ks, it can be HSAs, maybe the company offers you some HSA contribution or something like that. Not taking advantage of the free money is a huge mistake.
Totally agree. If you put in 4% into your 401k with a 4% match, you're getting 8% in, it's 100% ROI on day one.
Yeah.
I think you have to be kind of foolish to not take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And even, looking at saving for college and stuff, 529s, right? Taking the state tax credits, taking things like that, just being efficient with your money, being efficient with your investing, and I think that's what we're partly where we add value, right? Is helping people maximize those opportunities.
Yeah, we want to every dollar have some sort of tax optimization, right, beyond the match.
Right.
Right? Tax deduction, tax deferral, tax-free withdrawal. If we're not taking advantage and filling up those buckets, then we're leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. Last one is taking Social Security early. So we've talked about this before, and we have some new software to help us analyze when the best time to take Social Security is. But I mean, it's a big difference, right? When you get that, if you take Social Security at 62 versus 70, we're talking about a pretty significant difference in income over the course of your lifetime. So,
yeah, for sure. If you're still working, then you want to delay. Okay, and you can consider, even if you're not working, delaying and living off the portfolio, allowing the Social Security to grow, or doing Roth conversions during that time period. But you have to have the flexibility with your portfolio with pre-tax money and after-tax money, rather than just all pre-tax.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. But there's opportunity there to optimize Social Security in order to not leave money on the table, while doing that either.
And there's a bonus mistake.
This was my personal favorite.
Yeah, of course.
Not using a financial advisor. That's kind of what we were just talking about. Is financial advisors will help you optimize. They help you think of opportunities that you haven't thought of. They help you find, the best way to be most efficient with your savings, to not leave money on the table, to talk to you about expense tracking, all these things that we like to talk a lot about. We think are good reasons to use a professional.
Most financial advisors will just lecture you on the latte factor and why you have to save this $5 a day, but we think deeper. We're thought leaders. We're saying, well, let's flip that idea upside down and grow our income and not have a scarcity mindset. We want to have the abundance mindset, and so you can have as many lattes as you want, especially if they're free in here during your meeting. Yeah, that's right. So I think that wraps it up today. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, no. Just to piggyback on the one last thing you said, using a financial advisor and everything at Peak. To your credit, right? I would say you have been forward thinking, right? We talk about income planning too, right? And real estate and using different things like that. Is
Peak Income 360, diversify your income.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think that's more credibility of what we were just talking about.
Well, if you don't want to make these mistakes, you can reach out to us at peakwm.com for a second opinion. You can book online. And if you have a portfolio of $500,000 or more, we think it would be a very good idea for you. Until next time, we'll see you later.